Welcome to the Daily Beast podcast. I'm Joanna Coles. I'm the Chief Content Officer of the Daily Beast.
And I am Samantha B. I am the Chief Content Officer of RFK Jr.'s Vitamix. He makes the worst smoothies. We will get into it.
I thought you were going to be Chief Content Officer of his Bubbly Boys. How can you be the head of Health and Human Services with that voice? It sounds like you've never been to a doctor.
You cannot, is the answer to your question.
Is it possible he's got some sort of HPV thing going on in the back of his throat?
I believe that anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
Yes.
He's trying to stop other people getting the vaccine. He would be too young for the vaccine, but I'm very mindful of, do you remember when Michael Douglas said that he had got throat cancer because he'd given too many women oral sex?
Too much oral. I know.
Such an astonishing admission, and I think one that RFK Jr. hasn't yet thought of, but I bet he would like to.
Joanna, all you have to do is reference his sex diary where he lists all the women and all of the sex acts that he performed on them. Allegedly.
Oh, allegedly? You think he's lying? You think he's lying about his muddings?
No, he says that the diary is not real.
I've seen copies of the diary.
What?
It looks pretty real.
Oh,
yeah.
It looks goddamn real.
Yeah. I've been in media long enough to have seen copies of the diaries. They seem real, and he referred to his sexual exploits as his muddings, which is such a fascinating word.
Ew!
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not. His muddings.
His muddings.
And he refers to sex as the sort of demon that will not let him out of its grasp.
I'm going to almost throw up so many times during this conversation today.
Well, as we're recording this, he is in front of Congress.
He is. Oh my God. Then you know what? The next time I approach Jason for a romantic interlude, I'm gonna say, like, you want to get into a mud pile? And he's going to be so confused.
It's going to be like a Walmart Birkin bag being interviewed, because that's what his skin is like at this point. Sort of cheap leather.
It's like a crocodile embossed leather.
Very scary. Hello. Okay, every week here at the Daily Beast podcast, Sam and I dish about the people and the stories that everybody's talking about. So this week we're obviously talking about RFK Jr.'s long overdue verbal smackdown by his cousin Caroline Kennedy and Melania's butchy dominatrix portrait reveal.
Oh, yes.
In the download, where we dive into the biggest Beast stories, we'll be talking to Daily Beast executive editor Hugh Doherty and our senior political correspondent Julie Grace Brufke for a data dump on DC. Julie Grace is currently stationed at Trump's Doral. Is it Doral or Doral?
There's some debate. I think we have to get the scoop from Julie
Who
Grace.
is debating it?
She's living in a van outside the resort, so we'll find out.
All right. So she's at Trump's, you say Doral, I say Doral, golf club in Florida, and she'll be giving us an up-close and personal look inside the GOP retreat. I gather there has been a lot of smoothing on of suntan cream around the pool, or poolside, as you guys call it.
There is so much grease poolside.
Ooh. But Hugh will be here to break down Caroline Kennedy's warring video that she released on Instagram.
I've known Bobby my whole life. We grew up together. It's no surprise that he keeps birds of prey as pets, because Bobby himself is a predator. He's always been charismatic, able to attract others through the strength of his personality, his willingness to take risks and break the rules. I watch his younger brothers and cousins follow him down the path of drug addiction. His basement, his garage, his dorm room were always the center of the action, where drugs were available, and he enjoyed showing off how he put baby chickens and mice in a blender to feed to his hawks. It was often a perverse scene of despair and violence. That was a long time ago, and people can change. Through his own strength and the many second chances he was given by people who felt sorry for the boy who lost his father, Bobby was able to pull himself out of illness and disease. I admire the discipline that took and the continuing commitment it requires. But siblings and cousins who Bobby encouraged down the path of substance abuse suffered addiction, illness, and death. While Bobby has gone on, to misrepresent, lie, and cheat his way through life.
I thought I felt she could have worked with her presentation a bit better. I felt that she looked like a very lefty academic and it wouldn't play wide enough.
I think doing it on Instagram ensures that it will play wider. I actually think that was really clever.
No, I thought it was clever to release it on Instagram. I wish that I wish she'd had more flattering lighting because I worried that she looked like a sort of another crazy member of her family.
Well, she has those little teeny round glasses, but I did find it very compelling, and there are very few people who do Instagram lives with the proper setup. I actually find that as a general rule that people
Fair. I mean, listen, it was
up.
a brilliantly written, very good use of not very long. I mean, really concise.
Yes.
And every single line had something terrifying in it. He has birds of prey because he's a predator.
Oh,
that was
yeah.
very effective.
It was very effective. It was, and the revelations about, I don't know, just revelations about him frothing baby chicks in a blender to feed his birds of prey is this the person we want in charge of literally anything? And I maintain to this moment that if he didn't have the Kennedy name and the Kennedy money, he would be out on the streets just proselytizing.
Of course. Well, or he'd be helping Cheryl Hines with her, whatever it's called, Hines. What is her bath line called?
What?
Yeah, she has a bath and body line. Cheryl Hines does. You've seen the ads for it where he's naked in the shower. We've had this conversation.
What are you talking about? We have never discussed.
Cheryl Hines has a bath and body line.
What's it called?
Okay, someone is shouting the name of it. What's
is
it
it
called,
called?
Sasha? Hines and Young.
Hines and Young. I need to take a pause. I need to take a step down.
You've seen the ad where RFK Jr. is in the shower naked, because we know he loves to take his top off and his pants off. And he's in the shower, and then she's sort of blocking him so you can't see his balls.
I swear to Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, I have never seen this in all of my life.
I am going to order you some. I'm sure it's probably HeinsandYoung.com. Bit of an ad there for her fans.
Already getting a skin itch. I'm getting hives.
Okay.
As we speak.
It may be hypoallergenic, but I am going to order you some just for the hell of it. You can smooth it on next week's show if it comes that fast.
I'm going to be so creamy.
I'm going to order express delivery.
Just because she played a semi-normal wife on Curb Your Enthusiasm doesn't mean she is one. We don't know.
We don't know. We don't know, you're right.
She's down for that rough textured skin.
Oh, I think that's why she started her company. Clearly, that's why. Duh, we've just realised it.
She was like, it's like being in bed with a hammerhead shark.
Well, we know what would happen with that. He just saw the head off.
God, Jesus. Strap it to a car.
Strap it to a car with the shark juices whale juices, right?
Well, whale
running
juices.
running down the window.
This episode of the podcast is truly visceral.
All right, and our beast of the week this week is none other than Reid Hoffman, co-founder of LinkedIn and one of our time's most influential politically engaged entrepreneurs, the Silvio Dante, if you like, of the PayPal mafia. And Hoffman has been instrumental in shaping the success stories of tech giants like PayPal and OpenAI. And stay tuned, because when Reid speaks, it echoes through the valley. But before we get into it, let me just remind you all to subscribe to The Daily Beast at thedailybeast.com. It's juicy, sharp journalism. It's independent. So subscribed and stay saucy, spicy, and informed.
Oh, I love that.
I felt last week that I hadn't been sufficiently appreciative of Lauren Sanchez's breasts.
You're quite obsessed with those glistening orbs.
I'm obsessed by what they represent, actually, and I thought that it was extremely interesting to Isaac Mizrahi's comments a couple of weeks ago when he said that the First Lady and those around her play dress up. And we have talked often about how for Trump this is all about, he's a TV producer, he's a brilliant executive TV producer.
Yes.
And all this is playing out as if it were a big reality show. And that the women are playing roles that we felt were inspired by Robin Wright Penn on House of Cards.
Sure. Melania's new official portrait looks like the headshot that you hand in before your House of Cards audition.
Yes, it does, to get the role.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Or it looks like something out of the Wall Street Journal, where she's a sort of businesswoman. She's got no jewellery. It's a white shirt, for those who haven't seen it. She's wearing a grey suit. It's tailored. It's very severe. It's not unlike my jacket.
Not unlike.
Can you remember who designed it? I can't remember,
I
actually.
actually can't remember. I can only remember that there is a cummerbund.
There was a cummerbund. You're absolutely right, which you're very struck on. But I feel like Lauren's breasts are making a sort of bid for female freedom as the world comes in around women, and we see our rights restricted, reproductive rights restricted. And I somehow felt that in amongst that, the sort of overproduction of the inauguration, Lauren's breasts were this fantastically unplanned by the organisers distraction. You saw Mark Zuckerberg looking incredibly cheekily at them.
Literally ogling.
Yeah,
Yes.
ogling, and then knowing that he'd been caught and sort of giggling like a little schoolboy. And I just thought there's something more here, and I do think they should have their own coordinates on Google.
Do you think that her breasts are just waking up right now and they're just like, niplus erectus, somebody's talking about me, boing.
Maybe.
They're beautiful. They're lovely. They're
Well, a lot of work has gone into them. They didn't just
symmetrical.
they just didn't happen overnight.
I thought she looked great and very different. I mean, you said it last time we had a conversation that there's a lot of women in the Trump camp who are now dressing like the daughters of Zion. So this was an interesting, just a kind of like a roll of the dice in the mix. And very captivating.
And I felt that she managed to get, despite the fact that it was his second inauguration, actually Lauren Sanchez's breasts, cantilevered up like fruits at a greengrocer, were in fact she stole all the attention.
I'm going to have to correct you. Those are not the type of fruit that you just find at the greengrocer. You have to order those fruit. Those are specialty fruits.
In one of those Harry and David fruit boxes.
Each individual fruit is wrapped in beautiful
in paper.
in tissue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought, everyone kept saying, it's a bustier. I thought, no, it's like a milkmaid's. It's like a milkmaid's bodice, and I think they do role play, and she plays a shepherdess.
Oh my God, you have so many thoughts about this.
I do. I'm fascinated by her.
What is the
I thought it was
significance?
genius the way she managed to steal the attention in an unexpected way.
Sure. Well, what is the significance of this to your thinking?
I think she's a rebel. I think she's a secret rebel, and Melania was all, buttoned up and we're keeping all this female sexuality down, and Lauren was just like, look at me.
Mm-hmm. Check out these girls.
I think she might be a rebel, a secret rebel.
Well, I'm appreciative of that in all forms, if possible.
If you got lost down that cleavage, you would need Google Maps to get you out.
I would need Google Maps. That's some crevasse work.
You'd have to abseil your way out.
To really work on that. Okay, Melania's official portrait. Melania rocking skinny jeans. Should we just
my God, the skinny jeans were fantastic. You predicted this.
Of course, because in a Trump America, you are bringing back skinny jeans. I'm still seeing big pants everywhere, but
we hated big pants.
That silhouette is about to change. Obviously, boobs are going to be at the forefront again. Boobs. What am I, a child? I'm a child.
But why?
Boobies.
There was Melania doesn't give boobs, despite the fact that she was modelling topless at one point in her career. She actually dresses the complete opposite of that. Very severe. You never see any cleavage. Those long dresses that she wears.
She wants to be taken seriously.
She wants to be taken seriously.
I can never take her seriously because, again, I repeat, I read that goddamn book.
You read the book that she wrote that she didn't read.
It's easier to grift when you look the part of a serious person.
Interesting. I thought she looked fantastic. And again, to Isaac's point about her playing dress up, she was dressed as a first lady, dressing down to go on a trip.
Sedate, serious, sedate, educated. It makes it easier for people to stomach buying her ridiculous meme coin.
Yeah, that is a ridiculous thing. You just say the word meme coin. This is grifter in chief, right?
Yeah.
Grifter in chief.
It really is.
Okay, what else are we talking about? Hegseth's divorce settlement?
What is his divorce?
One of the so we've started at the Beast a new column called The Swamp, which
I love it.
looks at what's going on in DC. And of course, Trump says he's going to drain the swamp, but he really doesn't need to because it's all leaking to the Daily Beast.
That's fantastic.
But one of the things I've always been fascinated by is the idea of a cabinet made up of people who in theory all get the same amount of money because they get paid a public salary, which is well taken care of. Pete Hegseth is getting $246,000 for running this enormous department, which you might argue actually is very much underpaid for the enormity of the job. But what's so fascinating is that the people around the table have such such a difference in their wealth. So you have Scott Bessent, who largely made his fortune actually betting on Black Friday against the British economy, against the pound. But, hugely wealthy next to Pete Hegseth, who must have thought he'd died and gone to heaven when he got to Fox News and was on a salary of $2.3 million, but has now had to take a tenth of that to do this job. Now, we know he's got 2 ex-wives. He's got 7 children. He's got 7 children. Okay. He's got credit card debt, or he certainly did have when he was getting divorced for a second time. And he had, I think, a $480,000 mortgage on a $600,000 property. So this is not a guy who's well off. Why would he be? He served his country. But interesting to be sitting next to someone who is a centimillionaire, if not a billionaire, Scott Bessent, and both having the same loudness of voice, if you will.
Well, I mean, in the position that he's in, I mean, that is he will reap the financial rewards from that either now or in the future. I mean,
but someone's going to have to lend him money. How does he get through? Just financially, how do you get through?
I don't know. He's achieved this legitimacy now in people's view, not in my personal view, but, a large proportion of the populace is totally fine with him taking over this enormous machine. So I think he will reap the reward. And I don't know what form that will take. Maybe perhaps he should launch his own meme coin. I mean, why not? It seems like there are no guardrails. There's no rules.
What does it take to launch a meme coin?
I have no idea. We should launch our own.
I think we should. Be in Coles meme coin.
Oh, God. Like Beast Bucks.
Beast Bucks, that's
so
good.
Cute.
That is or Beast Cash. Yeah, I like it. That's a very good idea. We should totally launch one. I have no idea what we do with it or where we'd spend it. But I like the idea of trying to buy morning coffee with it, or
just walking into
to Bergdorf's and saying, take my coin.
Please, my coin.
Take my coin. But I want to recommend The Swamp. It's written by David Gardner and Mary Ann Akers. It's really good gossip about DC. It's sort of page 6 for what's happening in politics. Page 6 for politics.
That's great. Nerds unite.